everybody. It is a Wednesday. That means only one thing. It's time now for Supernatural News and Parashare. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. And guess what, folks? I got a surprise for you. I got a big surprise for you. A huge surprise for you, as a matter of fact. It is a return to normalcy. A return to greatness, as a matter of fact. Yes, that is... I'm going to reach my hand. Look at, I'm reaching this here hand if you're watching on video. Way across state lines this time. Way across state lines to the hand, to the state that looks like my hand, like a mitten, like right here. And you see this, whoa, I'm going to try not to spill everything on my desk here. Hold on. So right here, right there, see, right there. Yep. We're going to Michigan and we're going to grab the hostess with the mostest. You can hear her in the background. There she is. I don't ever pot down my mics. I don't know why. Probably I've lost that. I don't. It's a habit.
Good thing I'm not doing any like bodily functions.
Yeah,
Jeez.
right. Yeah, that'd be horrible, wouldn't it? We go and reach out to our co-host. Is she our Duchess of Death now? She could. Oh, yeah, our Duchess of Death, our Princess of the Paranormal. Yeah, it is. Yeah, our supernatural soul sister. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Mallie Fox. Hi, Mallie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Oh, I'm good. Having a yeah. How was your Easter, by the way?
Well, it was very quiet.
Was it?
So it was different for this year. So people had to work and kids were gone. So it was just me and a bowl of cereal.
Oh, wow. Easter bunny crunch, huh?
Yeah. Well, I had my Cadbury eggs. So I had my candy and my sweets. But yeah, I didn't have the big ham meal or anything.
Yeah, we as I said yesterday with Jess, we did a non-traditional Easter. We went out Saturday night, went to Buca. Yeah, we got the family together at Buca because, as you know, when everybody gets older, they tend to have to go to in-laws and stuff like that. So we decided, we'd be the sacrificial family, and we'd go out the day before. And then
I like Buca.
Yeah, Buca's good. It's a little spendy.
It's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food, but it's gotten very spendy. Yeah. I'll quote CM Punk from Monday Night Raw. They could lower the ticket prices. Oh. Yeah. Because
yikes.
You're getting a little less food for a whole lot of money.
Okay. It's been about a year since I've been there. So, wow.
Well, they now have the combo platters you can get. Like they've got like a 2 pasta meal deal you can get for like $49.99.
Okay.
Right. So we partook of that. So it's like 2 pastas, a bread, a salad, $49.99. Right. You're thinking, okay, well, that's pretty good for, especially, because we ended up, it was myself, intern Yoko, and we paid for my mom. So 3 people on that. That's pretty good, right? For $49.99.
Yeah.
And then we got some prosciutto chicken. Right. So,
okay.
You figure that's not too bad. But can I share with you how much the bill was for 3 people? And we didn't drink. I mean, like, we didn't have drinks. It was just sodas and water. $150.
I'm not surprised the way things are nowadays.
I mean, that's like, ooh. And you're right. I mean, everything's gotten more expensive. I shouldn't expect it to be, you can't eat for
it's still painful though.
Yeah, you can't eat for like $20-$30 a person.
Oh God, no. Well, I bite your tongue on that one because I went to Bob Evans on Saturday.
Well, Bob Evans,
our bill was like $35, and we had an appetizer and beverages and our big old chicken. What is it called? Like chicken noodle dinner.
Really?
Yeah, it was like $30-something.
Seriously?
Not including tip though. Yeah, and our waitress was super nice. She gave us extra, like biscuits and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it was packed though. It was really busy there.
Wow.
Because I looked at doing wrong holiday, Easter, and just doing it catered kind of by Bob Evans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because since it was such it was just Derek and myself for a short bit. So yeah.
Yeah. But you do those kind of birthday things, and we celebrated March and April. Yeah. I mean, so that pretty much took care of almost all the birthdays in the family. So I mean, that was for $150, that's a pretty good shot for once a year.
Did you have dessert, or did you bring dessert, or?
No, they gave us ice cream for everybody.
Very nice.
So yeah, that worked. We didn't bring a cake or anything.
Mm-hmm.
We were cheap that way.
That's not being cheap.
Oh, it kind of is. Yeah. Normally we have a cake for everybody, but we just
right.
It's been kind of a tumultuous time, with my dad being sick and everything. He did not. He didn't look very good on Saturday.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And just to give everybody an update, because I know I shouldn't say everyone, but quite a few people have been concerned. My dad's having cancer surgery April 29th if his antibiotic line is pulled, his PICC line is pulled by then.
Okay.
If not, then the saga continues. But he's got a form of male breast cancer called Paget's disease. So, but it is slow growing, and they claim it's somewhat benign.
Okay.
So, so they're not. They need to get it out. They put it that way, but they're not.
Right.
They're not chomping at the bit to get it out now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So but he's not in great shape. I mean, he looked very gaunt on Saturday. So
yeah.
So a little worried. So
it's never good when our parents are ill.
Yeah. And he's not a young man. He's 78 years old. He's not.
Yeah. That's the same age as my dad.
Yeah. So you want him to get healthy quick. And he still hasn't been able to lay down in a bed and go to sleep. He's been sleeping in a recliner.
Oh, okay.
Because his back has been in so much pain from the infection in the spine. So yeah. So you don't like to see him suffer like that. So
no, not at all.
Yeah. So just hoping that if you guys want to continue to send prayers and healing thoughts to him, it's greatly appreciated. So Roy Dennis is his name. So yeah, if you want to continue to do that. We should probably get things started here, Mal. It's been kind of a sad week. I don't know if people realize or not, or if you've heard the news, but Nick Pope passed away yesterday.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Former Minister of Defense, a UFO investigator on ancient aliens quite a bit. He had announced just weeks ago to everybody that he had stage 4 cancer. To his family and friends, it was known for a while that Nick was sick. But he had only announced it to the public just weeks ago that he had stage 4 and that he was not going to treat it.
Okay.
That he was going to, he essentially was going to brave it, tough it out, and that he knew what the end was, and he was going to accept it with grace. Often described as the UK's answer to Fox Mulder, Pope had spent decades investigating the UFO phenomena. He was born in 1965. Think about that, Mallie. He was so young. Geez. So young.
I know, when they're around my age,
yeah,
it's weird.
Nick rose to prominence due to his work at the Ministry of Defense, which from 1991 to 1994 saw him investigate reports of unidentified flying objects for Secretariat Air Staff Secretary AS-2A, better known as the UFO desk. Due to the popularity of the X-Files at the time, Pope ended up being likened to a real-life Fox Mulder. In the early 2000s, he revealed that the MOD had closed down their investigations of UFOs, but Pope himself remained a prominent figure, appearing at events and on numerous TV shows, including he was on this program quite a bit as well in the earlier years. For years, if UFOs were in the news, Pope would be sure to make a TV appearance, often being regarded as the UK's foremost expert on the phenomena. He wrote a book about his own experiences called Open Skies, Closed Minds, and continued to make appearances for many years, including on TV shows such as UFO Declassified and Ancient Aliens. His written works later extended to several science fiction novels and additional books about UFOs, including one about the Rendlesham Forest incident. Sadly, on February 12th of this year, he posted an update on social media to say that he had been diagnosed with stage 4 esophageal cancer. He died April 6th, which was, as we tape here, it was yesterday, at age 60. I had tried to book him with the last book he released on ancient history, about secrets of ancient history. At the time, we missed a few times getting an interview booked. I now understand why.
Oh, yeah.
At the time, he was not healthy. And I kept getting apologies from his significant other, Elizabeth, about it.
Oh.
And I was very, very gracious about it. I said, that's fine. You know, we'll catch up next time. Not a big deal. You know, if we've missed the window, we've missed the window. We just move on, you know. But I said I'd love to get Nick back on because it's been a while. But now I understand. I get it. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
But Godspeed to Nick. It's apparent now that all the secrets are revealed to him. He knows, if he didn't already. And I have a feeling that, knowing Nick, he's probably written something down somewhere.
Oh.
And there may be one more book out there that will be released.
Okay.
I'm sure. But please, folks, keep thoughts and prayers out there and for strength and comfort for Elizabeth and his family and friends, because this is a tough one. It really is. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm sure Nick prepared everybody for the end and did so with grace and love, I'm sure that this is really hitting hard. I know Elizabeth issued a statement yesterday, but it's a tough one. It really is. So,
did they ever? This is off topic, but
sure.
when you were talking about him, did they ever find the guy, the retired? What was he? Retired colonel or whatever that walked off, like disappeared?
I believe he's in the news too. No, they haven't. No, General McCaslin.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
I couldn't remember his name.
No, that's, you know what? Travis brought this up. Was it last week before? He's not the only one missing.
Really?
There's others around him and surrounding him that are missing as well.
Oh, I did not know that.
And I don't remember if he brought this up off air or to me on air. We were talking about it. He and I were talking about it. And he said, you know, he's not the only one missing. There's others that have to do with a lot of the programs surrounding UFOs that went missing around the same time. Coincidentally, if you want to put your conspiracy theory hats on real quick, and we're not going to go too far down the rabbit hole, but this all has to do with around the same time that President Trump said, okay, we're going to release the files.
Right.
Right. Then all of a sudden McCaslin goes missing. But keep in mind, when McCaslin went missing, he took a gun with him, but he didn't take his ID. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's all too convenient. It looks like a psyop. It looks like it was set up by a government agency to make it look like a suicide.
Right.
Okay. There's also another scientist that went missing at the exact same time McCaslin went missing that worked hand in hand on a lot of these UFO retrieval sites and worked directly with reverse alien technology. She's missing as well.
Okay.
And I don't remember her name, but Travis gave me her name as well. I should have wrote all this down, shouldn't I? But she's missing as well. And our good friend over at theblackvault.com at the exact same time had his servers wiped, but he kept a backup and reloaded them back up onto theblackvault.com. A lot of strange stuff happened all at the exact same time, Mallie, that President Trump said, okay, release the files. Now you may say, well, Tim, it's all coincidence, right? I don't buy it. Reason being is that there's a lot of shenanigans going on around the government right now. And it just, you could say, well, it's just all coincidence. I don't think so. I think there's a reason why the government's moving the way it is. It's trying to cover tracks for one reason or another.
Yeah.
And it could be because of lack of know-how. Okay. It needs to prove itself. So how do you prove it? You know, if you can't do your own homework, how do you do your own homework? Well, you cheat, right? So you take someone else's results, call them your own, and then you get rid of the evidence. Someone may say, well, that's exactly what, you know, another famous person said before he was offed. You know, be careful, Tim. That's what somebody else said too.
Yeah.
But It's true. I mean, that's there's a lot of people have spoken out. There's a trail of dead bodies too that say that that's exactly what some people in the government are doing. But all you got to do, and I'll just tell people this, just follow your nose, follow the videos, watch the stuff online, and you make your own decisions. I don't think one way or the other.
Yeah. Remember that time period where those holistic doctors all started passing away, or they mysteriously disappeared?
Yeah.
Reminds me of that.
Yeah. It's funny how when you get a few doctors that find some stuff medically and it comes through really strong, how they disappear. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'll tell you that. If they don't, if they, there's I'm trying to remember who it was who said, was it Godfrey, the comedian, who said we need to start bringing assassination back in this country? But he was joking. It was an ironic.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
Yeah, he said we need to start bringing assassination back in this country. Whoops. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe it never left.
You and I are going to have to start setting up cameras outside our house where we talk about these conspiracies.
I mean, it used to be somebody got in your way, boom, but it seems like it never left.
Yeah.
I think it's not a lost art form. It's a current art form that someone gets in your way, they conveniently disappear. But always question, folks. That's what I'll say. I know people are like, oh, Tim's wearing the tinfoil hat. I'll tell you this much. I've always loved a good conspiracy, Mallie. I always have. Because you have to question. You just have to question. There's just some things that, and not everything. You don't question everything. But when it's obvious, when it's just obvious, you have to follow the clues and just say, you know what? There's something a little suspicious here. And there's just so many things lately that you just have to look at and go, you just can't bury your head in the sand and go, there's no way that just happened. Yeah. The other thing I'm excited for, all you flat earthers out there are probably who I haven't heard a thing from lately. I don't know where you're at, but how many of you are still screaming it's being held in a studio? The Artemis II launch. I haven't heard anybody screaming about how it's got to be Spielberg in a studio right now. I haven't heard anybody. But there's been some amazing video and audio from, and we have yet to see the high-res photos yet either, which those are coming from Artemis II. But I was glued to the TV last night, Mallie, watching as they were, again, we're taping this on Tuesday. Monday, as they were going around the dark side of the moon, or the back side of the moon, and communications were cut off for that 40 minutes. And as they were coming back into communications, and just knowing that they had gone further than any other astronauts had gone away from Earth.
I know, isn't that incredible?
Yeah. And knowing that, there was a certain amount of danger there. And wondering in that 40 minutes that they were going to be cut off from communication from NASA, what they would incur, what they would come across, Is that the moment that they run into other life? Is that the moment that, they run into some sort of danger? But everything was fine. They came back online. Everything was fine. And it's the other thing that's intriguing is that they really don't have to use that much fuel in this whole thing. The natural pull, I don't know why I find this so intriguing. The natural pull of gravity between the Earth and the moon is pulling that vehicle. So their return to Earth is going to be pulled back in by the gravity of the Earth.
You know what? I don't think I've ever thought about that.
Yeah. I found that out by watching coverage last night. So their return voyage back to Earth is being fueled by the Earth's gravitational pull.
Okay.
They don't have to fire really their thrusters. They fire it once, and then they're on their way because the Earth will suck them back in.
I mean, it makes sense. I've just never sat there and thought about it.
Yeah. And so when you hear things about, the moon and the tides and all this other stuff, and you go, oh, that's a bunch of, woo-woo and bullshit. There's something to it. Mm-hmm. There's that much gravitational pull between the moon and the Earth. Who'd have thought? They're proving it right now by the way that they're piloting this spaceship. By piloting.
How long are they supposed? Oh, I'm sorry. How long are they supposed to be out there for?
It's a 10-day trip.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 10-day trip. So they, in fact, I have the story here in front of me now. But it's been almost an entire lifetime. In fact, the other thing that blew my mind, are you ready for this? Is they were taking photos, in some of the high-res photos. The stuff that they're taking now, believe it or not, is a GoPro that's mounted on the outside of the ship.
Really?
Yes, that's all that.
Okay, I didn't know that either.
All the photos that we're getting right now are off of GoPros. The high-res photos we haven't even gotten yet. So everything you've gotten so far has been off of GoPro, which I think is amazing. But some of the high-res photos they've taken so far, they've taken photos from the surface of the moon, and they've managed to take photos of the landers they left on the moon over 50 years ago.
Oh.
And they have a photo of the footprints that were left on the moon 50 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, because there's no rain, there's no wind.
Right.
There's no erosion on the moon.
Okay, that's weird.
So, yeah, isn't that eerie? So,
yeah, for 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same footprint.
So imagine if you leave a mark on the moon, it will be there for all time.
Huh.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. That's to me, that's almost devastating, right? So if you think about it, we're going up there to build bases. I mean, we're changing the entire face of the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, but just the simple footprints we left up there and the landers we left up there have been up there for 50 some years, untouched. Unless aliens have gotten in it and made a home. But, that's a joke.
Yeah.
But there's, and they have pictures of this 50 some years later of these things that have just sat there. It's kind of eerie, creepy, kind of ghost town feel.
Yeah. Well, and if they're going to build these structures, it's going to be weird that you're going to be able to see them from Earth, probably with a certain kind of telescope, correct?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So it'll be weird. You're so used to not seeing any type of structure, and then you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Because sooner or later we'll have bases up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be weird too.
Active working bases. It's something, it'll be something special, something different.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, times are changing, folks. And if you've watched any of the coverage, you've seen some of the astronauts and former astronauts talking about how things are now and how little money is really going into it to change the entire future. They were talking about how half of 1% of the actual budget of the United States is going into changing the future, which is something to think about. I mean, it's almost no money going into this. At approximately 6:24 p.m. Eastern Time last week, Artemis II launched into the heavens, carrying with it the hopes of everyone around the world and kickstarting a new age of manned spaceflight. The astronauts, there we go, going on the mission were NASA's Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, and Christina Cook, as well as Jeremy Hansen of the Canadian Space Agency, who we're finding out is become quite the star of this deal. He really has shown through and had some profound words during this whole thing. They're spending 10 days out in space and while returning to Earth after those 10 days. And NASA's been live streaming the entire mission from start to finish. And it's easier than ever to keep up on what's happening along the way. It's quite fascinating. You can catch all of it on YouTube. I mean, you can sit and live stream all day long everything that's happening with Artemis II. They eventually passed the point of no return with the moon and then circled around back and came forward, like we had pointed out earlier, which was a bit of a scary moment, but they got through it. It was called the final burn and known as the translunar injection, and placed the spacecraft on a direct course for lunar orbit, essentially acting as a point of no return for the mission. There were a lot of scary moments in this deal as far as NASA was concerned, but they got through it with flying colors, and there were a lot of firsts that, as I was watching the coverage, they were talking about, and I'm sure a lot of you were watching this coverage, where they were talking about, really, they're writing the manual right now for what they're going to tell future astronauts for future missions. Because really, this is only the beginning. They're kind of writing the manual for when they land on the moon with the next mission. Then when they start to build bases. And what it is they can expect to see out there. So this is really more than just a moonshot and flying around and going, okay, we did it, now we can go back. They're observing out there. They're taking pictures, they're scouting, they're testing things. They've got a whole set of tasks they're doing out there. So this is really more than just we're taking a ride out there. Wee, look at us. They've got a whole set of tasks and skills that they're perfecting out there while they're out there. So they've got a bunch of stuff they're doing out there, which is quite impressive. I believe they said that they're due back, is it around the 10th or 11th, I think? Because they're on their way back now. I think now they've circled and they're coming back into, I think they're latching on to the Earth's gravitational pull. It's either as we're recording today or tomorrow, the Wednesday, as you're hearing this Wednesday. I think they latch onto Earth's gravitational pull and then they come back. And it's like a 3-day journey or something like that to come back into our orbit. But what was impressive when they're running into, I think it was today, they were running into a solar eclipse from the side of the Earth, which is kind of cool to see, right? So it was from the moon side, they would see a solar eclipse from the Earth, right? The Earth would be blocking the sun. And then as they came around the moon, they saw only a half Earth. So they saw, I think it was Africa. I'm trying to remember the other nations, but they saw that lower part of the Earth. And they saw a half Earth, like you see a half moon. And as they came around that part of the moon and their comms came back on, they talked about how beautiful the Earth looked and that, we're back online. It's great to see you. Which is almost beautiful to hear. It's really quite stunning to hear all of this and know that it's all happening in real time. And you would hope now flat earthers would just shut up.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
They never will.
No.
God bless them.
They'll say it's all happening in a studio somewhere.
Yeah.
And they'll talk about the millions of dollars in AI that it took to shoot all this, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, a NASA administrator is saying that odds of alien life are pretty high, even after they've denied that, no, we've never said any of that was out there. I'm trying to remember who it was that said that NASA, on one hand, said there was nothing out there, and on the other, they're saying, oh, there's all kinds of stuff out there. Oh, it was Representative Tim Burch. And I have the clip, and you know what? I did not upload it for today. He had an interesting interview with TMZ this past week. And I almost want to grab it. And I don't know if I have time to do that or not. I may call time out and grab it here in a second. Tim Burchett talked to TMZ earlier this week as well. But Jared Isaacman, we'll do this first. Jared Isaacman maintains that the possibility of extraterrestrial life goes to the heart of what the space agency does. With 4 astronauts currently on their way for rendezvous with the moon in less than 24 hours, which they already have. This is an older story. The eyes of the world have been fixated on Artemis II over the last few days. Meanwhile, back home, NASA's administrator Jared Isaacman has been talking a bit about the space agency's own mission, and in particular, its approach to the chances of finding alien life. On Sunday, he told CNN's Meet the Press that the possibility that we are not alone in the universe goes to the heart of many things that we do at NASA. He also emphasized how the space agency's ambitions to build a base on the moon could unlock the potential to answer the question by way of a telescope at the lunar South Pole. He says, when you think about it, we got 2 trillion galaxies out there, he said. Who knows how many star systems within each of it? I would say the odds that we find something at some point to suggest we are not alone are pretty high. He did note, however, that despite having been to space himself, he hadn't seen any aliens so far. I didn't encounter any aliens up there, he said. I have not seen anything to suggest that we have been visited by any intelligent life forms out there. If the Artemis II mission continues to go to plan, it will help to pave the way for further space exploration missions and a potential manned presence on the moon and elsewhere. Perhaps one day, in the not too distant future, extraterrestrial life will go from a mere possibility to established scientific fact. I tell you what, Mallie, I'm going to grab that clip real quick from Representative Tim Burchett because you have to hear this clip. Mm-hmm. Representative Tim Burchett came out, I believe it was a week or two ago, on a news program. And he said, essentially his quote was, if you saw the things that I saw and have seen and has been reported to me, you wouldn't sleep at night.
Okay.
And it was essentially talking about the things he's seen about aliens. Mm-hmm. And Harvey and Charles followed up on TMZ, got Representative Tim Burchett on the program, which Representative Tim Burchett is one of the heads of the committees that's working on the alien disclosure stuff right now. Mm-hmm. They followed up and wanted to know more. He says some interesting things in the interview. So let me grab that clip real quick. Here we go. Here's Representative Burchett first. Here's the quote from him on the show that he appeared on. And then here's Harvey and Charles interviewing Representative Burchett about that quote from the show. And then we'll take it down from there. It's very interesting, though. It's quite a few minutes long. We'll air it in its entirety. We'll bring it down after it's done being relevant. So here it is right now.
I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this, if they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up, you'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. I'll just tell you this, I was briefed last week on an issue, 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard.
So joining us right now,
yes,
is the congressman.
Exactly, Congressman Tim Burchett. Welcome back to TMZ Live. How are you doing?
I'm a little close to the camera. Let me move back. That's a little too much, Tim Burchett. How about that?
We have a joke about that we tell, but we're not going to use it.
Yeah.
All right.
Look.
So what did you see now? I guess it would be about 2 weeks ago. That was very alarming, the way you said that, at least.
Yeah, well, because of the circumstances and where it was, I can't get into too much specifics, but it was elaborating on some stuff that we'd asked for, and it was important to get this person in a secure setting to where we could ask him these questions. And there's somebody in the meeting with us. One of my colleagues, I guess you'd say, was basically there just to kind of upset the apple cart and to throw, a monkey wrench into the deal. And every time the question was asked by this particular party, it was really the answers were out there, and they gave them, and they gave specifics, they gave addresses, they gave times and dates and people that were in the meeting, and this went all the way up to the executive branch of previous presidents, not this current president. And it's something that needs to be said, that I've said this before and I've heard it in these secure type settings, is that these arrogant jerks that are in government, and they're unelected bureaucrats, and they say, and they've told me the president is on a need to know basis. And to me, that should send a chilling effect. You all as journalists, and you are journalists, you've uncovered more than 3/4 of the mainstream media that's out there now in what's going on in our country. And you do it and make people laugh. So I think that's and I dig y'all for that.
So you mentioned that somebody apparently was testifying and gave information. We've done a bunch of documentaries. You've been a part of some of them on this. I'm interested to know, is the person that delivered this information somebody who's out of government, somebody who was in the Navy? I mean, there are
somebody in government, and I hate to correct you on something. They were not testifying. They did not hold up their right hand. And
what kind of a meeting was it then? What kind of a meeting?
Well, it was what you would say. It's kind of James Bond kind of stuff. It's in a very secure setting. I'll just say that and leave it at that. But but it was it's been a chilling effect to me when they say things like that. It's like we're untouchable. You can't handle what's going on. It's up to us to decide what you can and cannot see. And to me, I just don't like a government like that. I'm a very transparent. I don't care. I mean, I know y'all are liberal out there and then we're conservative out here, but the reality is there's a good reason that liberals and conservatives, one thing they can't agree on is they don't trust the dadgum government because of this arrogance. And we need more transparency. That's why I love it when y'all uncover something, which you've done a pretty good job of in the last few weeks.
Thank you, Congressman. There have been different reports over the years. Some reports that there have been pieces of machinery that were found that did not seem earthly. And then there have been reports about life that is not earthly. Which one of those two, or both, are you talking about? A form of life that is not earthly, or of just something mechanical that's not earthly?
I say you'd be safe to say both.
Huh.
And now, and my big thing on this is this. Look, I have my own beliefs. People throw it up in my face. Oh, you say you're a Christian, but this isn't very Christ-like. I said, dude, the Bible, Genesis 1 says God created the heavens and the earth. And then you read chapter 1 of Ezekiel. That's Old Testament, just like Genesis is. And they talk about Ezekiel seeing the wheel, a wheel within a wheel. And, and they keep throwing up obstacles to us. They're saying this is demonic, this is positional, it's time and everything else and all that. And I don't get into all that. I just want to know what we're spending tens of millions of your dollars on every year. Every department has it. NASA, they went on record a few weeks ago and said, oh, we have no proof. We've got no files. We got no pictures. And I said, well, what the hell was I did y'all brief me on a while back on if we don't? This thing is just drives me crazy. You got one side saying one thing and the other side saying the other, and they're both in the same departments and they're so compartmentalized. That's why Washington is a mess. We're not going to fix it, but if we got a president with the guts to put this stuff out and just dump it on us, dump every bit on us and let us figure it out.
The way you described this, whatever happened at this meeting, this briefing that was happening, was there something that if we knew, we would feel that we are in danger? You said you wouldn't sleep at night if you knew the things that I saw in these briefings.
Yeah.
Should we believe that that's the part where it seemed alarming? I
don't think we're at danger of this. I mean, if these things exist as I think they do, they could have destroyed us with a blink of an eye. I just don't see that. And I think that's, I just think, but I do think they have the technology and the capabilities of of something that we can't understand or we can't grasp.
So that's essentially the interview there. There's a little bit more to it, but I'll let you go to TMZ to get the gist of it and the rest of it there. What do you think, Mel?
I think it's cool that he's being honest and open about it.
I think he's one of the only ones who is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love Tim Burchett. He's one of the guys I want to get on this program just to pick his brain. I mean, he's, for as much as he can say,
right,
he says a lot. I mean, this is the same guy who jumped online and basically said the whole raising of gas prices is bullshit. And basically told the American public this is why, and told you why gas prices were being raised. You know, and you know, again, we don't play politics on the show. He's a conservative, but he shoots about as straight as you can shoot, and we'll tell you, you know what, I got nothing to hide. Here you go. Yeah. You know, I don't.
It's kind of refreshing.
Yeah. I don't play games. Here's the way I see it. And it's refreshing to have a guy like that in charge or heading up the alien disclosure stuff. And just saying, let's just dump it all on us. You know what's the big deal? Trust the people. You know, because obviously he hasn't melted down and he knows it.
Yeah.
You know, makes me wonder what it was that wouldn't, you know, we wouldn't sleep at night. Although I think
I know that's kind of freaky. I
think I have an idea.
Okay.
Because one of the former Trump administration came out this past week. The stuff just keeps tumbling out of people's mouths. And a lot of this is really, really interesting. Matt Gaetz is out there making out of this world claims about government secrets. Former insider in the Trump administration. Former congressman claims, without actual evidence, keep in mind, that the U.S. is forcing extraterrestrials to mate with humans abducted from war zones and migrant caravans.
Oh.
That's taking it a step. But is that true? I mean, he was on the inside of the Trump administration.
Yeah.
Right?
That's weird to think, though. Yeah.
Former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz made a bold claim about a U.S. secret government program that, to be honest, many may find alienating, literally. In an interview posted last Tuesday with podcaster Benny Johnson, Gaetz insisted that there's a secret program that is actively working to breed alien-human hybrids designed to help officials communicate with people on other worlds. The quote here is, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the location of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication, Gaetz told Johnson. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that, is what he told Johnson. Gaetz described the man that gave him the extraterrestrial info as both a senior enlisted man with the U.S. Army and a whistleblower. By the way, the end of the Tim Burchett interview, he says a uniformed member of the Army came in and said, oh, by the way, Tim, they're real.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't play that part for you, but that's part of the interview. So, yeah, these guys in the Army are verifying for U.S. senators that these things are real.
Yeah.
The enlisted man with the U.S. Army and the whistleblower then claimed the man told him, or that man told Gaetz that the secret program forced extraterrestrials in custody to mate with humans that have been abducted from war zones or even from caravans with migrants. Gaetz admitted that he didn't verify the whistleblower's claims, but said he was told there were between 6 and 12 breeding facilities around the country. The ET informant's goal in talking with Gaetz and other members of Congress was to get some of them to show activities taking place would not be moved to other more secret locations. Gates spells it out in a clip that's in this article. I tell you what, I'm going to post it in the description of this program so you can watch it. You tell me if you think it feels genuine to you. I'll tell you what I know.
Okay.
It's not that far off.
Okay.
There's some truth to it. How much truth? I don't think they're pulling people from caravans. I think that's a little off.
Uh-huh.
But breeding programs, I think, is on the mark.
That's my uncomfortable laugh.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think we're getting closer to the truth.
Right.
Yeah. These are the uncomfortable things that may start coming out as we get towards July.
Yeah. Oh, when Spielberg's movie comes out?
Yep.
Is that what you're talking
as we
about?
get closer to Disclosure Day. I just think Matt Gaetz came out with it a little soon.
Okay.
These are the things, and as the government tries to come out with its sanitized version, this is the filthy underbelly that people don't want released. That's why you were talking about General McCasden earlier.
Yes.
Well, there's a story this week that a 911 call reveals new clues in the hunt for General McCasden. Efforts are still underway to figure out what happened to William Neal McCasden, who vanished last month. The strangeness began on February 27th when the 68-year-old left his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and vanished without a trace, with nobody having seen him at all since that time. Now, the details of the 911 call his wife made to report his disappearance have emerged. Perhaps most chillingly, she told the dispatcher that her husband had planned not to be found. I don't know that I stated that correctly, but let me try it again. She had told the dispatcher that her husband had planned not to be found.
Okay.
Does that seem unusual to you?
Yes, because I can't see a spouse saying that.
Right. If your spouse left the house, even mistakenly didn't take his wallet, his cell phone, maybe accidentally took his firearm with him, or you noticed the firearm was missing, would your first reaction be he planned not to be found?
No.
No. Her quote here is, he's left his phone. He changed his clothes into I don't know what. I think he's on foot. All of our cars and bicycles are in the garage, she said. He turned it off and left it behind, which seems kind of deliberate because he's always got his phone. He has a smartwatch. I don't know if that's with him or not. When asked about her husband's mental health, she revealed that he had been suffering from anxiety and bouts of short-term memory loss in recent months. He was also having issues with insomnia and seemed to be experiencing general mental decline. Other than saying if his brain body keeps deteriorating, he didn't want to live like that, she said. But it seemed to me that was just a man, I hate how this is going kind of thing, she went on to say. According to the Bernalillo, I'm not quite sure how it is, County Sheriff's Office, no evidence of foul play has been found. The question of where McCasden might currently be, however, continues to be unanswered. If this was a man who was in mental decline and had short-term memory issues, obviously, if he just disappeared into the desert, he would have been found by now.
Right.
You would think, because if he took a gun or if he took something, obviously he was going out to commit suicide, you would have found some sort of remains by now.
Right.
He wouldn't have gone too far.
If he was planning on committing suicide, wouldn't you think that he would give his wife peace of mind and leave a letter behind?
Right. There would have been some sort of note. Or he would have left something with somebody.
Yeah.
Right. Not to shut off his phone. This suggests to me that he had some other agenda.
Right.
Or, again, it's a psyop.
Yeah.
Why is the wife covering?
Mm-hmm.
The wife is covering something. I don't
Yeah.
know what, but she's covering something.
Right. Yeah. Weird. Yeah.
Back during his U.S. Air Force days, McCaslin was often associated with the UFO phenomenon. He once headed up the Air Force Research Laboratory of the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, where he managed a $2.2 billion science and technology program. The base has long been associated with black projects and rumors of reverse-engineered alien technology, and is also the place where the Roswell UFO debris was said to have been taken. It's also connected to Project Blue Book, which looked at thousands of UFO cases. Now, we're on the verge of disclosure. This guy can blow the roof off of everything. And supposedly he's got short-term memory loss. And he's got mental issues and anxiety.
Well, the anxiety is probably because he knows that they're going to come after him.
Right.
Because he has all the knowledge.
Right.
I wouldn't be sleeping either if I had to look over my shoulder every 5 minutes.
Well, my guess is he's got anxiety because someone's after him.
Yeah.
Right? So he takes a long walk in the desert and disappears?
Yeah, it doesn't add up.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, my guess is he's either on the lam because he knows someone's after him and he knows the government's coming for him and trying to get rid of him, you know, because he does have all the answers.
Right. Well, and that would make sense that he would leave his phone behind so they can't track him.
Right. Exactly. And his wife just, you know, is not in on the loop, and he didn't want her in on the loop because she could give him up.
Mm.
Or she's in on it and she's working as part of a psyop to throw people off the track of the fact that they actually did get him and he is dead. And they don't want people to know that he's dead. I mean, I hate to get into conspiracy theories with Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Yeah.
But there's something a little too fishy about that whole deal.
I agree.
I mean, you have to remember, I'll give you one out on this whole thing, folks, and that's this. Savannah Guthrie, years ago, started working on the Epstein file stuff. And she was one of the lead reporters who was working on it. And then in the middle of the night, her mother is attacked.
Yeah.
Come on. A lone attacker comes in, takes her mother, and there's no trace whatsoever.
Yeah. Did you see that there was another ransom note released to TMZ?
Yeah.
Where
And
they're saying, yeah.
And what's funny, and I don't know if you watch the coverage from TMZ itself, because again, I religiously watch TMZ. People who think TMZ is not a credible news source need to change their thinking, because they released a critical piece of information about this source that nobody's reported on. You want to know what that is, Mallie?
Yeah. Please tell me.
The guy who's sent the information, who says he knows who the killer is and knows where the body is, all he wants is half a Bitcoin. As they pointed out on TMZ Live yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Half a Bitcoin is only like $25,000. It's very little money to get the information. The FBI, now this is what makes me think it's an inside job.
Okay.
Mind you, I just said Epstein files. Right. And this is where people are like, oh, Tim, you've got your conspiratorial hat on. Think about this for a second, folks. The FBI keeps saying this isn't a credible witness. This isn't a credible person who's coming forward and saying for half a Bitcoin. This person's out of the country that wants half a Bitcoin and will give up the information. They're not in this country.
But didn't he mention she was in Mexico? Or she was in Mexico, or he saw her in Mexico or something? The person that did the letter, that wrote the letter?
They haven't mentioned what country he's in.
Oh, I was thinking.
Because I think he's moved.
Okay.
wherever he is.
Right.
But he's supposedly out of the country. Wants half a Bitcoin. He said that at first, when he sent one of the first communiques, one of the first emails, time was of the essence. Now he's saying time is no longer of the essence. Which means what?
She's dead.
Mm-hmm. He knows. This guy's on the inside and knows, and he knows who killed her. Mm-hmm. He knows exactly who killed her. He knows exactly where that body is, and the FBI won't take the information.
But they were offering more money than $25,000 for information regarding where she is. Why not pay it to get the answer? Because
this guy will be killed. He knows who did it, and the guy is on the inside. And the guy who did it is connected to the Epstein files.
Ah.
That's why. He's connected to somebody inside the Epstein files.
Well, because it was a total distraction.
Yeah.
When she disappeared.
Yep. That's right.
Because we start focusing on that rather than the other stuff.
That's right. That's why that's why he went to TMZ. That's why he went to the media. That's why this guy went to the media and said, for half a Bitcoin, I'll tell you who killed her.
But see, if I was the daughter, what's her name again? Is it Samantha?
Savannah Guthrie.
Sorry. If I was Savannah, I'd be like, give him the 25,000. Give him that half Bitcoin.
But again, she's being advised. She's getting bad advice from law enforcement. Keep in mind, everybody thinks the sheriff is crooked, and has screwed up the investigation, has screwed up the DNA. I still think the DNA was planted.
Okay.
I think the whole thing has been a psyop from the beginning. Again, people are going to be like, "Oh, there's Tim with his conspiracy hat again."
Right.
Then tell me why it's a cold case.
Yeah.
There's no way it should be a cold case.
I'd still do it. I'd go against the law enforcement, what they're telling me to do. I'd be like, okay, this has gone on for so long. I'm doing it myself. I think honestly, Harvey over at TMZ is getting ready to do it. I think he's getting ready to pay the $25,000 out of his own pocket just to see. Right.
I don't think he's going to tell anybody that he did it, but I think he's going to do it just in the name of journalism.
Yeah.
To figure out
the money for it.
He does. He's got more than enough money. I think his issue is not only journalistic integrity and paying for sources, but if he breaks something wide open, I think he's afraid for the security of his news team.
But I thought that in the past, though, they've paid for sources. Because they started, I mean, they were kind of tabloidish, more so way back in the day, weren't they?
In the beginning, they were. But I think they're trying to be less so now. I think they're trying to be more journalistic integrity is a thing.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you this, though. Whenever something happens and I see it on the internet, I will go to TMZ first to see if they have it mentioned.
They're very credible. Yeah. So I honestly think that that's a thing. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Harvey pays the $25,000. I think it'll happen. Anyways, we've kind of gotten off track, but
yes, conspiracies.
But yeah, I think because if you notice, again, Tim Burchett comes on TMZ and says, aliens are real, folks. I think you're going to see some stuff broke on TMZ really, really soon. As far as this alien thing goes. We've got, what do we have here for stories before we go to break? What do we have here? What do we have? One more story? Two more stories? We have one or two more stories here. A high-ranking FEMA official, actually they made fun of this on Saturday Night Live on Weekend Update this weekend.
Okay.
A high-ranking FEMA official claims he was once teleported 50 miles. Did you hear about this story?
No, I didn't.
Greg Phillips bizarrely claims that he had been with his sons when they were all teleported to a Waffle House.
Hey, if you're going to go somewhere, do Waffle House.
That's right. Teleport me to a Waffle House any day. We don't have any in Minnesota. I'll take it.
Yeah. But what's funny at Waffle House is it's a totally different world between like after 2:00 in the morning.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it qualifies for being teleported to a different world.
Yeah.
Phillips, a conspiracy theorist, there you go, who currently heads up FEMA's Office of Response and Recovery, has reportedly detailed his peculiar experiences during interviews on several different podcasts. We got to get him here to figure out how you get teleported, especially to a Waffle House. The strangeness allegedly began when he had been driving along a road in his car one day when the vehicle was inexplicably hoisted up into the air by an unseen force and moved around 40 miles. When he looked out, he found that his car had been deposited into a ditch next to a church. This might seem out there enough, but then on a different occasion, Phillips maintained that he had been driving with his sons in the car when they decided to visit a Waffle House. Suddenly, without warning, the vehicle was teleported approximately 50 miles to Rome, Georgia, where it allegedly reappeared just outside a Waffle House. Teleporting is no fun, he told the Onward podcast. You know what's happening, but you can't do anything about it. And so you just go with the ride. And wow, what an incredible adventure it all was. I want to teleport.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Just teleport my ass to 7-Eleven.
I say let's go for an adventure. Take me to Paris.
Yeah.
All right?
I was just thinking down the street, but yeah, I'd rather go to Paris.
I want to go across the world.
Yeah.
Screw going down the street or to Waffle House. I mean, let's go exotic with the deal. Given the bizarre nature of his claims, it's difficult to accept that any of this actually happened, or it's also unclear why he would make something like this up and insist that it was real, especially given the high-ranking position he currently holds. Exactly what, if anything, actually did happen to him on these occasions remains a bit of a mystery. I don't know. Is it possible he got picked up by a UFO and set back down?
Well, I was trying to think if there's like a little, not a mini tornado, but something where it was like a big,
like
I don't know,
like a funnel.
Yeah, just kind of threw him over there, but that doesn't really work.
No, it could. Why not? I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of if a tornado picked him up, put him down.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to black out for a certain amount of time to not realize that it had happened.
Right. Or you know how like you've driven like long stretches of road and all of a sudden you're somewhere where you've lost track of time almost, you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden you're there. So maybe it's like a combination of those two things.
I had back when I had post-concussive syndrome for a while. I actually did black out. I was driving to work and I blacked out and ended up 30 miles away from where I drove. Mm-hmm. And I woke up scared. Like I didn't know where I was. I had to pull over and ask somebody where I was. But that's was a scary brain misfunction.
Right.
Right. I knew I didn't teleport anywhere. I knew I drove somewhere.
Right.
I just didn't remember where I drove.
His children were witness to it too, so it can't be just...
Yeah. But then at that time, I knew I had a brain injury.
Right.
You know? So I knew it was a misfunction on my part.
Yeah.
And that I wasn't well. In fact, at that point, I called into work and I just told them I'm taking the day off, that, I had something wrong with me and I was going to go into the doctor. So it was just...
Well, lucky that you made it safe to the 30 miles out the...
I was out in the sticks. I saw cornfields. I was like, I don't know where I am. I mean, I teared up, I was like, I don't know where I am, I had to ask people what city I was in, I barely knew what highway I was on. Luckily there's a highway marker, but I just had no idea where I was. It's just like I woke up and I was driving and I'm like, where am I? This isn't work. But, and then finally when I pulled over and asked somebody, they were like, you think you're where? Like they looked at me like, you're kind of strange. Finally, before we go to break, Congress has set a new deadline for the release of 46 secretive UFO videos. Federal agency bosses have been handed a notice to release the videos within the next 2 weeks. According to reports, lawmakers in the U.S. are pushing for the imminent release of a cache of 46 classified videos of UFOs or UAPs, many of which have been filmed by military personnel. The push has been headed up by Representative Anna Luna, chair of the Task Force on the Declassification of Federal Secrets, who has given federal agencies, and Pete Hegseth in particular, a deadline of April 14th to make the videos available. The argument behind the move is that these objects might pose a threat to national security. It's believed that several of the videos depict unidentified fast-moving objects captured on camera over war zones, often by U.S. military personnel or their international partners. The lack of disclosure regarding the very real threat posed by UAPs in and around U.S. restricted airspace is concerning, said Luna. The task force has found responses from AARO when questioned about UAP sightings and provided data to be less than adequate. The presence of UAPs in and around the sensitive airspaces of U.S. military installations poses a threat to the security of the armed forces and their readiness. Back in March, Luna talked about the UFO files that President Trump said he would be releasing. I think they're very serious about doing it, she told Jillian Michaels on the Keeping It Real podcast. As soon as we get the official on-paper declassification order, I want to do a press conference with all the information that we are told and shown. Whether we will get to see the aforementioned 46 videos, if they do get released, however, remains unclear. So, there you go. That's according to Anna Luna. They got to get them out. Now, how fast they get those out, they say 2 weeks. Right. That 2 weeks may become 2 years, but yeah, especially when it comes to national security. So
yes.
All right. Coming up on the second half of the program, a startup has quietly been pitching cloned human bodies to transfer your brain into.
Okay.
It only gets cheerier on the second half of the program, Mel. I do have a ghostly story after your bits and bobs here.
Oh,
Mel,
cool.
About a couple spotting a ghostly figure on a baby cam after a daughter is found with scratches on her.
Oh.
Yeah. Kind of a spooky little deal. The question, when we dream, could we be interacting with the parallel universe, comes up today. There's that question as well. And our Neanderthal lineage discovery might help explain when they went extinct. We might find out when they disappeared after all. That's coming up today as well. And Mallie's Bits and Bobs are coming up as well today, right after the break. It's Supernatural News and Parashare. If you have a Parashare story, by the way, share it with us. We're waiting on you. What are you doing? If you have if you have a real life experience with a ghost, with Bigfoot, with Loch Ness Monster, with Chupacabra, maybe it came up, you fed it some dog food, I don't know. Whatever it may be, you can send in an email to tim@darknessradio.com. You can send us an audio story. Just click on that little blue button at darknessradioshow.com. Send us an audio story that way, a voice file. Or if you've got a studio like the one I'm sitting in right here, send us a video link. We want to see your lovely face. And you can send it in to tim@darknessradio.com as well. All right, when we come back, Mallie's Bits and Bobs, we'll talk about when Neanderthals went extinct. We'll talk about who's cloning bodies to put your brain into and much, much more. It's all coming up next on Supernatural News and Parashare here on a Wednesday on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio on a Wednesday, Supernatural News and Parashare. Guess what, Mel?
What?
It's that time.
Yeah.
It's time for us to get funky like a monkey. It's time for us to talk about AI news. I teased before the break There's a company out there, a startup, that's been quietly pitching cloned human bodies to transfer your brain into. As outrageous as that sounds. Yeah. It's kind of a fun concept. Since the mid-1990s, scientists have been obsessed with cloning animals. You remember Dolly the sheep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, famously became the first mammal to be cloned from a cell taken from an adult mammary gland almost 30 years ago in 1996. 30 years ago.
Jeez Louise, we're getting old.
Transitioning from cloning animal embryos to human ones has proven far more controversial, and not only because of the litany of risks involved. So far, scientists have only gone as far as to generate human embryo models, grown stem cells, and cloned primates from fetal cells rather than adult cells like Dolly. That sounds very creepy. I know that much. That hasn't stopped some from exploring the idea as part of a secretive effort to realize an alternate to anti-aging tech that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a dystopian science fiction novel. A billionaire-backed stealth startup called R3 Bio recently announced that it was raising money to develop non-sentient monkey organ sacs. That sounds creepy.
Organ sacs. Ugh.
Monkey organ sacs.
Yeesh.
An eyebrow-raising alternative to animal testing. Such structures would contain all typical organs, excluding the brain, ultimately serving as a source to donor organs and tissues. I am officially creeped out now. But according to a sprawling follow-up investigation by MIT Technology Review, R3 Bio's founders secretly have a far more ambitious goal in mind, creating entire brainless clones of the human body that aging or ill individuals could one day transplant the brain into. That's even creepier. One advantage of not developing a brain in the donor bodies, albeit a ghoulish one, such as a brain-free clone, could neatly circumvent certain moral conundrums over the concept. Isn't that a bit too ghoulish? Mallie, here's your brain-free clone. How do you feel about jumping into it?
Listen, I am just still stuck on that organ sac word.
The organ monkey sac? Yeah. Monkey organ sac?
Yeah.
Still, to call the idea ethically fraught would be a vast understatement, despite an insider likening a pitch they heard from R3's founder, John Schleindorn, to a close encounter of the third kind with Dr. Strangelove. In an interview with Tech Review, the company has since distanced itself from the idea of brainless human clones, as they should. Yeah. It's probably not great for their portfolio, I'm sure. The company said its founder never made any statement regarding hypothetical non-sentient human clones, that it would be carried by surrogates in a statement to Tech Review, and insisted that any allegations of intent or conspiracy to create human clones or humans with brain damage are categorically false. You can just see the stock prices just diving right now. Yeah. Strikingly, though, co-founder Alice Gilman told the publication that the team reserves the right to hold hypothetical futuristic discussions about brainless clones involving humans. You know, we can talk around the water cooler about it.
Yeah.
You know, just hypothetical stuff.
Right.
Beyond the ethical implications, experts also threw cold water on the biological feasibility of full body replacement. There are so many barriers. Michigan State University researcher Jose Cibelli, who also is among the first to try to clone human embryos by obtaining matched stem cells in the early 2000s, told Tech Review, from illegality and safety issues to the fact that an artificial womb remains science fiction. He said you'd have to convince a woman to carry a fetus that is going to be abnormal. That's my love life over the last 30 years. I don't know what they're having a problem with. So, baby, would you like to carry my baby that'll be abnormal?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, you have no idea how many times I've heard no.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah. They say the considerable yuck factor, which was my nickname in college, per Cibelli, seemingly... That was a joke, Mallie. You can laugh at that.
I did. Did you not hear me?
No, I didn't hear you.
Oh.
That. No. I just thought it was like
chuckled.
I thought it was like oh God, I'm so sorry.
No, I laughed.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I thought it was more of a
Oh, sympathy.
Yeah, it was like oh, you poor kid. Now as I go to read it, the entire story just wiped out like the considerable yuck factor. Oh, where did the story go? It just wiped itself out. It was like, no, never mind. We don't want you to read this story. Oh, well.
Yeah,
okay.
like we're done.
Yeah, we're done. I think we're done with that. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one, I guess. Anyways, but yeah, they're yeah, wombs.
Like wombs.
Wombs with a yuck. That's pretty much that story. Anyways, we'll move on to the next one here. A grandmother wrongfully jailed for nearly 6 months after an AI facial recognition error.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. How would you like to be her? Believe it or not, grandma's only 50 years old.
Damn.
She's a young one.
Yeah.
A 50-year-old Tennessee woman spent over 5 months in jail after wrongfully being tied to a bank fraud investigation by an AI facial recognition software. Sorry, Grandma. We'll bring cookies every Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like them apples. Those are horrible apples, by the way. Now I just have to get this to move. Yeah, this poor grandmother. What's the deal with that?
I would never do a facial recognition kind of thing. You know, like when you can do it for your phone and stuff?
Don't you do facial recognition right now?
No.
Oh, I do all the time. That's what scares me about. I do that all the time with my phone.
Oh, see, I don't because, I mean, I look totally different when I have makeup on than when I don't. So it's like, nah.
You know what the worst thing about facial recognition is? The minute I take off my glasses, it doesn't recognize me.
Yeah, see? So things like that. Or what if I was to get Botox or something? It'd be like, it's not you. You don't have your wrinkles.
Yeah, it totally, it doesn't, it's like, who are you again?
Yeah.
And it totally doesn't recognize you.
Yeah, how I look at 7 o'clock in the morning is totally different. You know, than like 4 o'clock in the evening. Crack whore, normal. Crack whore, normal.
Yeah, he goes, oh, I don't recognize the crack whore. It's looking at me now.
Yep, exactly.
No,
or it's like, where is the crack whore?
Where did the crack whore go?
Yeah.
I can't give you your bank balance, crack whore.
I know.
What do we do
You're
now?
not looking like shite today.
What do we do now?
Yeah. See, so I don't do that. Nope.
How do I get you into your grocery shopping app without looking like a crack whore? I can't do that. Oh, God, I use facial recognition for almost everything.
Yeah, I don't.
That's horrible, isn't it? I mean, just because...
Not for you. I'm just thinking for a female, how we change.
I have like 47 apps on my phone. I have to use facial recognition.
Or what if your weight fluctuates? I mean, does that take it into account?
Oh, it does, yeah, because I've lost like 50 pounds since I've started using facial recognition. Mm-hmm. But there's something about... No, there's something about the face that it does track it. But I don't know. Yeah, it does. And you can always redo facial recognition.
Yeah.
So you can always retrace it. Mm-hmm. But no, it does. It picks it up. That's kind of scary. On July 14th of last year, you're going to think this is a fake story when I tell you what her name is. Okay. Angela Lips.
Yeah, that's a little bit...
It does sound kind of fake.
What if it's like Lipez or something like that?
No, it's L-I-P-P-S, Lips. Angela Lips. Yeah.
Never mind. I was thinking like L-I-P-P-E-S or something.
Nope, Angela Lips. Was at her Tennessee home babysitting 4 children when armed police officers came and took her away at gunpoint. She was later booked as a fugitive in relation to a bank fraud investigation in North Dakota. You're in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Right? Which was over 1,000 miles away. The only problem was that Lips has never been to North Dakota. That could be a problem. Mm-hmm. Right? The grandmother of 5 told investigators that she had lived most of her life in north central Tennessee and had never been on a plane. Unfortunately, police in Fargo, North Dakota had obtained a signed warrant for her arrest on multiple charges, including felony theft and felony unauthorized use of personal identifying information. Angela Lips later learned that she had been identified as a suspect in an organized bank fraud case. Investigators are reviewing cases in April and May of 2025 in which a woman a woman used a fake U.S. Army military ID to withdraw tens of thousands of dollars from banks, used facial recognition software on surveillance camera footage, and identified the Tennessee grandmother as the main suspect.
Wow.
Yeah. By the way, this is the face that was used.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Be aware of what you ask for.
Yeah.
The West Fargo Police Department told CNN that AI facial recognition software they used in the investigation identified a potential suspect with similar features to Angela Lips. And someone apparently thought it was enough to have the woman arrested. If the only thing you have is facial recognition, I might want to dig a little deeper, Angela's attorney told WDAY News. After spending over 3 months in a Tennessee jail, 3 months.
Oh, I would be so irate.
Oh, I would. Someone's getting knocked out.
Yep.
At the end of October 2025, Angela Lips was put on a plane and flown to North Dakota, where she was once again jailed simply because of an AI recognition software. And the fact that it had decided that her facial features, body type, and hairstyle matched that of a crime suspect. That was it.
That's unreal.
Yeah. On December 23rd, the detective in the bank fraud case, the state's attorney, and a judge who had signed her arrest warrant mutually agreed to dismiss the charges without prejudice to allow for further investigation. At this point, Angela Lips' attorney had produced her bank records, which clearly showed that she had been about 1,200 miles away in Tennessee when the crimes were committed. So there's no way
But yet she had to spend 3 months still in jail, though?
Oh, yes.
Beforehand?
Yeah.
Oh, someone's getting in trouble.
Someone's getting sued.
Yeah, someone's losing their job.
Angela was released from custody in North Dakota on Christmas Eve without so much as an apology.
Oh, that would even make me even more pissed.
Yeah.
They're not even saying, I'm sorry. Oh.
She was left stranded in a place she didn't know with no way of returning home. Her attorney helped cover a hotel room and food on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and a nonprofit eventually helped fly her home. Apart from the trauma and humiliation Angela Lips had to endure throughout the 6-month ordeal, the Tennessee woman also ended up losing her house and her pets because she couldn't pay her bills.
I can see why she lawyered up.
Yep. Her lawyers are currently exploring civil rights claims, but have yet to file a lawsuit. As for Angela, she's just glad the nightmare is finally over. She said, I'm glad it's over. She told WDAY, I'll never go back to North Dakota. That makes 2 of us.
She was never in North Dakota.
Yeah, she was.
They brought her there.
They extradited her. Yeah.
Well, I know that, but before that, 'cause she said, I'll never go there, but...
Yeah, she said, I'll never go back.
Jesus.
I don't blame her. I wouldn't go back either.
Oh.
Sons of bitches.
I'm angry for her.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm angry for her, too.
And then I'd be going after that software company that they use,
Yeah.
the facial recognition.
Well, it's a horseshit program.
But I mean, hello.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Right?
Oh.
All right. One more here. If you think that's bad.
Oh, I'm feisty right now. That just pisses me off. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Tinder has a new way to find your perfect loved one. And it's just as much bullshit as arresting you for an AI recognition.
People are still on Tinder? I didn't think that was something people still did.
Yep.
Okay.
By the way, there was a story the other day I saw that people are getting dating app fatigue.
Yeah, that I thought they were. That's why I'm surprised people are still using Tinder.
Yep. But for the people who are still on Tinder, they're going to launch a new AI feature that finds your perfect date by your camera roll. So don't have too many pictures of your pets. Otherwise, you're going to end up practicing bestiality.
Right.
Yeah.
Or food.
Or food, yes. Or you'll end up dating some of your plates from Buka. I don't know. The dating site is set to roll out a new feature which will see it use AI to matchmake. So you mean if I have a crush on Trish Stratus or Janet Jackson, you're going to hook me up with them?
You're going to get the, what's it called, Wish? The Wish version?
Yes, the Wish version of them, yeah. Tinder are set to roll out a new feature to help its users find love relying on AI. The dating site is set to use technology which will scour users' camera rolls and then match them up with their perfect person. Nothing superficial about that. This is going to be horrible.
Yeah.
Tinder bosses have said they are introducing an array of major innovations, including a music mode, which has been redesigned to offer connections through shared music tastes, as well as an astrology mode for those who like to get the stars to assist with their dating lives.
Oh, mine would be like no Tauruses or Aries. I don't do well with them.
No Tauruses or Aries?
Yeah.
Yeah. As well as these innovative changes, they're also introducing new live events such as video speed dating. Oh, God. As well as improvements which will make the app safer for those who use it, such as making people pass verification before using it. Now it has been announced that an AI tool will be available for Tinder users, which will scan the camera roll of your phone to spot certain patterns. That's horrible. It will get a gauge of you by assessing your interests, lifestyle, and elements of your personality by seeing what photos you take and save and try to match people up with others similar. This move is an option and not obligatory, so those who want to keep their snaps private still can. I was going to say, because there's a lot of guys who have nothing but sports and porn on their phones. I don't know who you're going to get those guys to date. The AI tool will also ask the user an array of specific questions so that they can receive a daily curated recommendation for a match. Tinder's Vice President of Product Management, Hillary Payne, said it has been invented for millennials. She said it was built for a generation that was really geared toward convenience. We're hearing more and more from young daters that app fatigue is real, not just in the dating space, but generally how much time they're spending on their phones. There's been this craving for younger daters to get out into the real world and almost more serendipitously meet new people and start dating. They're looking for authenticity and compatibility rather than convenience and volume. A lot of the work that we're doing is in reaction to this new generation's way of dating, they said. The Los Angeles-based company is owned by Match Group, which owns a raft of dating platforms, including Hinge and OkCupid. I didn't know Match owned so many.
I didn't know that either.
Dating platforms. Match Group and Tinder CEO Spencer Raskoff said, with more than half of our users under 30, we're building alongside a generation that wants dating to feel more authentic, lower pressure, and worth their time. Huh.
Yeah. I think these dating apps have created more issues with relationships because I think more people can cheat with the dating apps. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah. Yeah, it's. I think it's easier now more than ever to skirt the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Mallie, I think it's time now for your bits and bobs.
My bits and bobs.
Yeah, your bits and bobs.
Yay.
I still don't have a theme song
like
for
a
this.
song. I know. Hey, maybe you can use AI and create one.
You know, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump on the old AI generator and get a bits and bobs story together, or bits and bobs song together. A story. Listen to me. A song. I'll get a song together.
Yeah. Well, speaking of stories, so I have one regarding William and Kate. They're reportedly horrified by Fergie's claim about the Queen's ghost, and they're intensely irritated by her distasteful behavior. Or distasteful. Distasteful. You're confused. As I'm trying to read, I watched your thing zoom in. It threw me off.
Oh, sorry. I was plugging in my iPad. It came up.
No, I know, but it like zoomed in on your head.
Whoa! Extreme close
As I'm trying to say the word distasteful, all of a sudden it went "Brrr" into your head.
Sorry.
People are be like, what is she talking about? Yeah. Okay. So I got distracted.
There, it'll zoom out.
Sorry.
There we go.
Well, it's my ADHD. Okay, so it's fair to say at this point that no one in the British royal family wants anything to do with the former Prince Andrew or his ex-wife Fergie. Whether that is because they are genuinely appalled by their connections to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, or because at this point damage control for the monarchy involves keeping their distance, it's hard to tell. But perhaps the latest report about Prince William and Kate Middleton's reaction to Fergie's suggestions that she was getting, quote, advice from Queen Elizabeth through her corgis, it's not that surprising. According to Radar Online, the two are appalled by the claims. Ferguson said during an appearance at the Creative Woman Platform Forum in London last year, she said, I have her dogs, I have her corgis, so every morning they come in and go woof woof.
Aww.
And all that. And I'm sure it's her talking to me. I'm sure the Queen would like to know that she's coming back as a barking dog.
Yeah.
But she then told the audience that when the dogs barked at nothing, she said, I believe it's because the Queen is passing by. And Tom Sykes from the Royalist Substack claims the declarations have caused intense irritation for the Prince and Princess of Wales. William and Catherine, along with those who actually cared for and spent time with the Queen in her final months, such as her oldest friend and dresser, Angela Kelly, thought it was quite a bizarre and tasteless way for Sarah to boast, in their opinion, of her spiritual closeness to Elizabeth. He added, they have found it distasteful that Sarah pretended to friends that she had been left the dogs in the late sovereign's will, when in fact they were simply returned to Andrew and Sarah, who had given the Queen the dogs without consulting with other members of the family in 2021. Radar Online sources said, Sarah insists the Queen's spirit lives on through those dogs. She says that they comfort her and even guide her decisions and are helping give advice about what to do since she now faces life without a Duchess title and is having to leave her Royal Lodge home. The corgis are, at this point in time, reportedly with Andrew at Wood Farm, and Fergie has not been seen in public since last year.
Interesting.
Yes, so the dog is communicating through the dogs. No, the Queen. I said the dog. Hello. The Queen is communicating through the dog.
Be even better if the dog were communicating through the Queen, which was communicating through the dogs.
There we go.
That'd be interesting, too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So now I have a story about Drew Barrymore and that she's welcoming this ghost that's hanging out at her talk show set, supposedly. Yes. So Drew Barrymore had one extra special guest on her talk show on Friday and didn't even know it. The Golden Globe winning actress received the surprise of her life when it was revealed that there was a ghost hanging out in the back of her studio set during the episode. Then, ever a proper host, Barrymore fully embraced the supernatural with open arms. Well, welcome to whoever is here, she said, glancing backward to where the supposed spirit was standing. Because I'm here for everyone and everything, and I hope you're a nice spirit. Barrymore learned of the ghost presence during a conversation with influencer Brittany Broski. As part of her interview, the Royal Court star had brought her ghost hunting mom, Heather Long, with her, who in turn pointed out to the spirit looming large on set. There's one right back over there, Long said, prompting Barrymore to whip her head around and shout, what? Long then pointed to a place behind her daughter in the corner of the show set. She said, on the stage over there, there's a presence over there. While she may not have been able to see the spirit, Barrymore was fully on board, especially since the CBS Broadcast Center, where her show is filmed, has had many different lives over the years. Barrymore explained, this used to be full of dairy cattle. That's what this building was. So there are these crazy tunnels underneath the ground where they would bring all the cows through. Since then, the space has gone on to become the home of soap operas and classic shows, Barrymore noted. So it makes more sense that someone might stick around. This is a CBS Broadcast Center, she said. There has been so much filmed here. Now Now all that's left to do is to have Barrymore and hello, Barry. I guess he said cows.
Moo.
Let's see, left to do is to have Barrymore and her Drew crew pals break up the Ouija board and identify the spirit haunting their talk show. And then you can catch the Drew Barrymore show. It airs on weekdays on CBS.
Where can we see the Mushu?
Yeah, I know, right? Mushu pork.
Mushu pork.
So I was interested with now, okay, here we go. I'm talking in weird. Okay. When I saw this story, I had no idea that Spielberg had well, I didn't know that Spielberg and Stephen King kind of had a connection with one of his movies.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I was unaware of this. So Stephen King's underrated haunted house series only exists because of Spielberg. Stephen King can pull a horror story out of anything. And at one point in the book Faithful, where King and his friend Stuart Onan chronicle the 2004 Boston Red Sox season, he casually drops a potential horror plot based on watching a baseball game on TV. That it took him decades to develop a story based on a haunted house. And that makes sense. It's because it's too obvious. The story goes on to say that the 2003 miniseries Rose Red is his take on the classic horror setting, which embraces all the old tropes instead of the Overlook Hotel, subverting them. King fans wouldn't have that if not for Steven Spielberg outright asking the master of horror to write a story about a haunted house. The Steven connection had been simmering for years when they finally teamed up in 1996 and started hammering out the script for Rose Red. Originally, it was going to be a feature film, and as King has discussed in interviews over the last 30 years, the project fell apart when Spielberg wanted to take the script in a more upbeat, positive direction, and King wanted it to be a terrifying horror movie. Simple creative differences kept the movie from happening, but the idea was out there, and through Spielberg's simple suggestion, King had his haunted house script. Rose Red was broken down and rewritten into a miniseries airing on ABC over the course of 3 days in January 2002, which is what television events were like back there before streaming. The Rose Red of the title isn't a person, it's a mansion, and think of it as the Winchester Mystery House, if it was built on a large Native American burial ground. A professor specializing in psychic phenomena, Dr. Joyce Reardon, which was played by Nancy Travis from Last Man Standing, assembled a team of academics and psychics to venture into Rose Red and unravel the mystery. Over the course of the 3 episodes, we learn the hidden history of Rose Red, and in typical King fashion, its true nature is revealed because nothing can be only a haunted house or only a killer clown. There's more to it than what it seems on the surface. The difference investigators all have the difference is that the investigators have their own special powers, from talking to ghosts to telekinesis, but that's little comfort when going up against a cursed building that has been haunting a family for generations. Watching the ways various members of the investigation die, from encounters with spirits to literally dying of fright, it makes you wonder how Steven Spielberg envisioned the original project. Though it was considered mediocre by critics at the time, Rose Red pulled off an 8.5 rating and nearly 20 million viewers. It's often overlooked today as it's not the greatest King adaptation, but it's also not the worst. To this day, Stephen King and Steven Spielberg have yet to collaborate on a project together. They were close again when the Duffer Brothers were going to adapt The Talisman for Netflix. Spielberg happens to own the film rights to King's series thanks to a sweetheart deal with Universal dating back to 1982, and that deal has seemingly fallen through, with everyone involved moving on to other projects, but that's what happened with Rose Red 30 years ago. So it still could happen, but for now, Ready Player One's extended homage to The Shining is as close as we're going to get. King's next project includes a Cujo remake, while Spielberg is getting ready to rule the summer of 26 with the alien blockbuster Disclosure Day.
That he is. And I'm telling you, it's just a lead in into the real thing.
I feel like I'm going to have like my bug out bag and everything ready when that movie comes out. Just like be ready for doomsday.
I think you should.
I know.
Yeah. I think everybody should.
Yeah.
I know everybody thinks I'm jumping the gun, but
No, I don't think you're jumping the gun. I do think something is going to happen. I just don't know like to what extent, like how big of a thing is going to happen. You know what I mean?
I think people these days they tend to be very jaded. So I think a lot of people just kind of shrug it off and go, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But
until it really happens.
Yeah. Until you actually see one on TV, then you'll be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so the last story I have, it's about banshee screams and chilling handprints that are appearing in one of UK's most haunted woods. So this article comes from the BBC, and it says that it has long been rumored that a woodland in Somerset is one of the most haunted spots in the UK. From banshee-like screams heard by campers to drivers discovering chilly handprints inside their cars, locals believe that they have experienced numerous encounters with a notorious ghost known as Sally. Many of these spooky incidences have been connected to Brown's Folly Nature Reserve near Bathford and a nearby road called Sally in the Wood. So, what do people say happened in the woodland? The unusual stories are being explored in a BBC sound series produced by BBC Radio Somerset called The Other Side. Stories surrounding a ghostly woman reportedly seen by people have been connected to a car accident and a murder, but none of these have been proven. There was, in fact, a real person named Sally or Sarah Gibson who lived in the area in the 1700s. And according to research, local records show Gibson had lived in a cabin in the woods until she passed away 2 months short of her 100th birthday. One man who believes he may have encountered the local ghost is account manager Jamie Vaughn. He says that in his teens, he would often sit in the car with friends in the Browns Folly Nature Reserve car park. And after a night of driving, they would sometimes hear knocking on the metalwork, which he put down to the vehicle's, quote, cooling down. He said, I tried to be skeptical of it, and one night we were sat, wing mirror to wing mirror, and the knocking started getting louder, and it was underneath me in the driver's seat. When he turned on his lights, he saw a muddy handprint on the front of his window. He said, I reversed out of here like a bat out of hell, and I tried to clean off the handprint, and it wouldn't come off because it was on the inside of the window. He said that my windows were up, and I can't explain any of it. I've never had the courage to talk about it up until now. It's almost been 14 years since I talked about it, Vaughn said. Another local, a retired officer by the name of Philippa Cole, also believes that the ghost could be behind an unusual call-out. She said that on a night shift in the late 90s, she attended a road traffic accident on the road. Ever said to me was, is the lady okay? And at the time, we didn't know anyone else was involved, she said. He said she was in the middle of the road and he had swerved to avoid her, but she had a white coat on and she didn't move. He said that she said, I remember he also said he had heard a scream afterwards. Our fear was that he struck her, and she immediately searched the area for the woman he described, but she said that there was absolutely no trace of her and put it down to the famous ghost of Sally in the woods. She said it was spooky, and I heard the tale from other officers that the accidents had occurred because of the lady from Sally in the woods, and I use the road quite a bit, and it makes me think about it all the time, especially when I'm driving through it at night. There was a youth group leader, Shay Stew, who recounted a camping trip in Browns Folly where he looked back and saw a pinprick light moving towards them. He said that it was in the dead of night and we were trying to go in a single file. We all looked back at the light. It got closer to us and we literally heard the most horrific scream, like a banshee scream. It went through your bones. Everybody had a massive freak out. He described the noise as a human scream that felt like a warning to get out. He said that there's a strange feeling here and you've almost got that white noise that just covers this wood. This wood is incredibly haunted. The chairman of the Bathford Society, Peter Martin, has heavily researched the topic, but admitted that he has never seen the ghost in question. He says that Sally was a real person. She was born in 1724 at Monkton, Farley, Wiltshire, and was one of 5 children, he said. He goes on to say that her husband, John Gibson, had a certificate that allows him to hunt game. And when he died, she asked to leave the game. She was asked to leave the gamekeeper's cottage, and she went to live in a hut nearby. The dwelling was located southeast of Brown's Folly in Worley. And he went on to explain how records show that she hung mugs outside of her home in which people deposited coins. She lived there till she was around 100, which is extraordinary, Martin said. But he says that there is a scream in the area that is often reported, and that it was a commonplace, and people would say, "Oh, that's just Sally." He says that she was always thought of in good terms and that she was never an evil person. So there you go.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent, excellent. That's Mallie's Bits and Bobs, and good stories this week, Mel. That's for sure. Yeah, very interesting. I have one to add to the Bits and Bobs this week. A couple spot a ghostly figure on baby cam after a daughter is found with scratches. Horrified parents Heather Brow and Josh Higgins claim they caught a male figure walking past their 1-year-old's cat on camera before it vanished into thin air.
Yikes.
Yeah. A young couple say they're being forced out of their home by a malevolent spirit after capturing footage of a ghostly figure strolling past their daughter's cat. Mom of one, Heather Brow, has raised her 1-year-old baby, Lily Higgins, from her afternoon sleep and carried her downstairs when she spotted 3 deep purple scratches across her cheek. Heather, who shares the home with her fiance, Josh Higgins, at his mom, Chris's guest house, says the mysterious injuries has led them to examine the baby's monitor footage to determine whether she had clawed herself while dozing. However, when they scrutinized the recording in 2019, they uncovered a male figure striding briskly past Lily's cat before vanishing into nothingness. Interesting.
Yeah.
The couple are now urgently house hunting to escape the haunted property after paranormal experts verified the residents had supernatural activity. Interesting indeed. Chris said the previous owner of the home was an elderly woman who remained with a fractured hip for an extremely long period until she was discovered dead at the foot of the staircase. Her brother lived in the guest house until his passing several years afterwards. So could that male figure have been her brother?
Possibly, yeah.
Could be. Heather from Michigan said, "This is a spirit. I don't know what its intentions are, but at this point, it's becoming physically harmful. This has made us want to leave as soon as possible. As soon as possible, we're out of here." Seeing Lily's face with the scratches was so bizarre and frightening. There's no explanation as to what would have happened. It happened within 20 minutes. Josh changed her quickly, gave her some snacks, ran out to bring the groceries in with me, she went on to say. I went to take her into the kitchen to help put the groceries away, and then I saw her face. I was crying, "What happened to you?" I grabbed her jacket and ran over to my mother-in-law's house. Nobody knew what happened. We wondered if she'd scratched herself, but when we put her hands up to the scratches, it didn't match up. I think it's possible this is the previous tenant, she went on to say. The spine-chilling footage captured on the baby monitor is hardly the first supernatural encounter for Heather, who maintains she's endured months of paranormal activity. She claims to have heard screaming, stomping, and laughing while home alone, and was even jolted awake by the sound of a male shouting. Heather said, "There have been times where me and my fiance would wake up in the morning and I would hear an angry male voice like someone had stubbed their toe. If I'm in the shower, I hear someone running up and down the steps." The first couple of times it happened, I thought my fiance and his brother were running up and down the stairs for things, but when I opened the door, there was no one there. I woke up to get ready for work one morning and it felt like someone was choking me. It shook me to the point where I decided to buy our camera. One time, from dead out of my sleep, I heard this man scream and it scared me. I woke Josh up and said, "Did you hear that?" He heard nothing. Chris, Heather's mother-in-law, lives in the main house with her husband, Jim. She says that paranormal investigators have confirmed the presence of ghostly activity within their home. She professes to be clueless as to what could have triggered the incidents in the guest house. Michigan-based Chris stated, prior to watching the footage, my daughter-in-law had brought the baby over. She was crying, very upset, and the baby had scratches on her cheek. At first, I thought, well, she's a baby. Maybe she scratched herself. But then the next day, I looked at it, and they were very deep, like bluey purple scratches. They were pretty prominent, and there's no way that she could have done that herself. Ever since that incident happened, they don't leave the baby alone in any particular room. They put her to bed and make sure that they are upstairs with her and that they're together at all times, except when she's at daycare. Lily now points to the corners of the room and babbles, which she hasn't done before. They moved in November as a short-term stay, but I think what's going on over there with the ghost sighting has made it even shorter. The 100-year-old house has a dark history, and Chris now has pledged to have the guest house investigated as well. Chris said, I was told when we bought the houses 11 years ago, the lady who owned the property died in the main house. It's an old farmhouse, and according to her niece, who was the beneficiary, she fell down the stairs, broke her hips, and laid there for a very long time before she passed away. She said the guest house was built for the lady's brother, who was schizophrenic. He also has passed away. I don't know how or where, but that was the background that I was told, she went on to say. We've had many experiences in our main house. We had an investigator twice, and both times they found evidence of a presence. We've not had the guest house investigated, but it will be getting one out, or we'll be getting one out after this. I don't know. What do you think, Mal? Do you think it's the brother of the woman who died, the schizophrenic?
Well, I don't think it would be I would say hopefully it's not the brother who passed away, but I don't know. See, and I would picture that the woman would be, I'm not saying all women are motherly, but I would usually hear the story of like a previous tenant who was a woman be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just more, I guess, lovingly or more protective of the child.
Yeah.
So maybe it's neither one. Maybe it's something else that was there previous.
See, to me, it almost feels like the spirit might have spooked the cat. The cat might have scratched the kid.
Oh, could be. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't see a older woman scratching a kid.
Yeah. A ghost scratching a kid doesn't to me make much sense.
Right.
Because why would they have anything against the kid, right?
Right. Unless it's malevolent.
Yeah, unless it's malevolent. But even if I can't imagine, we always hear that, well, spirits don't necessarily, even if they have issues, they don't necessarily carry mental illness with them across, right?
Right.
So whether the brother was schizophrenic or not, that shouldn't matter.
Right.
But to me, it wouldn't seem that would be a deal. So to me, I kind of think that maybe the cat was spooked by something, and the cat might have accidentally scratched the kid.
Yeah.
But
that house doesn't have good vibes. I mean, 2 people passed away.
Yeah.
Sounds like in short amount of time.
Yeah. It's probably the house probably has some negative vibes to it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. Our next story has to do with dreaming. And when we dream, could it be interacting with a parallel universe? One scientist maintains that when we dream, our consciousness may be interacting with other dimensions. Despite experiencing them on a nightly basis, our dreams continue to remain something of an enigma. For millennia, scholars have pondered over whether the contents of our dreams might have some deeper meaning, or even if they may have some form of metaphysical significance. According to I just episted myself. Epistemologist, I don't know. It's getting late, Mallie.
Yeah, it's something.
Epistemon. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. David Leong, that's his name, of Charisma University in Turks and Caicos. Our dreams may, in fact, represent a window into another version of ourselves living in an alternative universe. This idea borrows from the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. I know that, which essentially suggests that every possible permutation of events could happen based on our actions and choices, and does actually play out in a limitless number of parallel universes. When we are asleep, Leong argues, our physical senses are dampened, thus opening the door for our unconscious mind to perceive these branching paths in the form of dreams. Dreams may be windows into distinct realities governed by their laws, in which the mind, unfettered by the constraints of wakefulness, can explore and interact in new forms of existence, he told Popular Mechanics. This would mean that, for example, a dream about falling might mean that you actually did fall. Although it wasn't you, it was an alternative version of you in a parallel universe. Some choice you made there, but not here, resulted in that fall happening. That said, like many theories about dreams, there's no way to prove that this is the case. Given how much we still don't understand about the nature of consciousness, quantum mechanics, and even reality itself, we may never know for sure what the truth actually is. You know, when I sat down with Dr. Michael Gillen a couple weeks ago, in his movie, he argues against multiple universes, and he has an actual theory behind it, which is kind of fascinating. And that if multiple universes were actually out there in the multiverse, as it were, he has a scientific method as to why they don't exist, and why it would be so discombobulated. And actually, to watch the movie when it comes out on April 8th here, which is today, as a matter of fact, I think you'll find it kind of almost makes sense. I'd like to believe in a multiverse, and I'd like to think that maybe somewhere there's another me that's living a really, really rich lifestyle right now, and made different choices and maybe better choices. But for that to happen, he's like, then that would mean that every time you turned around and made a different choice, there's an alternate choice to the choice you made, and there'd be billions upon billions of universes that would be out there for everyone. And it just doesn't seem like that's possible, and that would fit,
right?
So therefore, it can't all be contained, which would seem to make sense, and physically it wouldn't be able to be contained. And he has a more elaborate and concise way of explaining it, but it's an interesting theory. That it just can't simply be, scientifically that would happen. But it's a nice thought. It's a nice thought to think that, somewhere out there, there's another me that's doing much, much better than I am right now.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think he's probably right about that, there's probably not multiple universes out there with multiple Tim and Mallies out there doing.
Yeah. Hopefully making better choices.
Yeah. Sitting out on a yacht somewhere, eating caviar and sipping champagne. I think it's probably not happening. Yeah. There's another story out there about a new Turin shroud study, which raises more questions than answers. Tooling around on Facebook this week, as I tend to do, looking for interesting topics. And we've had Timothy Hogan on this program, an interesting cat, that's for sure, who is about as high up in the Knights Templars as you can get, and has seen more of this world than most of us ever will. And walks into places we'll never walk. For example, the death chambers of the pyramids.
Oh.
Yeah. And he has an interesting theory about the Shroud of Turin. And when he said it, I went, oh, come on. He claims the Shroud of Turin is the world's first photograph.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, when you put it that way, I did that exact same thing you just did. He claims the Shroud of Turin was the world's first photograph set up by the Pope at the time, the 10th Pope, and Leonardo da Vinci. If you don't believe me, go look up Timothy Hogan's Facebook. It's on.
Well,
there.
no, I'm not saying I don't believe you, but that's that's interesting.
He's got the story on there on his Facebook, and it's
okay.
It's an interesting little tale he tells. That he believes it was concocted by the church at the time. As an elaborate story.
Okay.
Not that he doesn't believe in the crucifixion, but just that it was, I don't want to use the word hoax, but it was, and believe me, I'm not stating that this is my belief, because I don't believe that this is my belief. But when I did the same thing you did, Mallie, I went, what? Because there's no more proof behind what Timothy Hogan says than there is in the actual, proof in what there is there. All to tell you about this story. Renewed efforts to understand more about the origins of the famous relic may have done little to solve its mysteries. Believed by many to be the actual burial cloth of Jesus himself, the Turin Shroud, which is today situated in the Chapel of the Holy Shroud at the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy, has long been the subject of intense scrutiny, controversy, and debate. A significant number of researchers have made conflicting claims about the shroud, with some hailing it as authentic and others suggesting that it's either a forgery or not the Shroud of Jesus at all. Back in 2015, a study headed up by Gianni Barcaccia of the University of Padova determined that the shroud may have been created in India, a controversial view at the time. Again, someone else saying that it's a forgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Barcaccia is back, this time with the results of a new DNA analysis, which show that there are traces of a vast number of different plants, animals, and people from all over the world on the shroud. This is the claim of Timothy Hogan, that there's DNA of the Druze on it. While this might seem like a breakthrough, it basically means that it is pretty much impossible to tell for sure exactly where the shroud was made, who might have handled it, and when. For example, the plant DNA samples found on the relic trace back to Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Americas. In other words, the shroud has been in close contact with so many people and locations over the centuries that it is now futile trying to decipher exactly where it was and when it was created. In its true origins, it seems, may be a mystery that might never be solved. The shroud has been passed around, Mallie, for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone to many locations. At one time, it was passed around like a basketball. Of course, it's got DNA from everyone on it.
Right.
And everywhere it's been. I mean, it's like a passport. It's been stamped on many times. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to justify, Are you going to get, the blood of Jesus off the thing? No, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
It's too old,
But I think though with it, I think it made it seem like, at least maybe to some people, that the whole story of Jesus and stuff was more real because you had that kind of as evidence that he did exist, like a physical.
Right. Yeah, and there are other things out there as well. There's the, supposedly there's splinters from the cross that he was actually crucified on. There's an ossuary supposedly out there that contained his bones. That's out there. There's many different things that are out there. I mean, I don't know what people need to know that the man existed.
Right.
I guess it's a matter of funny enough, faith, right? As to whether, what you need to determine what he was, We all know he was a rabbi. You can't deny that, right? He was a faith leader. You can't deny that. But, to what extent of a supernatural Lord and Savior he was, that's up to you.
Yeah.
And your faith. You take it to where you need to take it. And that's totally up to you. But I don't know why I don't know what the need is for some people to need to prove that this thing is, 100% legit or not, It's there's an image in this shroud. It's a modern day miracle, isn't it? That it survived for thousands of years, not thousands, but almost thousands now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thousands of years. That's somewhat of a miracle. Why not leave it at that? Even if it is, as Timothy Hogan says, the first photograph, that's a pretty impressive photograph.
Yes.
Let's leave it at that. I'm good with that. Okay. I'm still impressed.
Yeah.
But if that is the actual burial shroud of Jesus, and that's the cloth that he was in when he, hey, that's truly something special. Why question?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get why. I mean, it's cool to break things down scientifically or try to, but how much is too much? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Final story before we get to our palate cleanser today. A Neanderthal lineage discovery might help explain why they went extinct. Around 65,000 years ago, something happened that might have ultimately doomed the Neanderthals to extinction. One of the closest relatives of modern humans and the Neanderthals, we thought were or have disappeared somewhere around 40,000 years ago, though the precise reason for this remains elusive. Now, in a new study, researchers who obtained mitochondrial DNA sequences from multiple Neanderthal excavation sites across Europe have discovered that around 65,000 years ago, something happened that reduced the number of Neanderthal lineages down to just one. The study authors believe that a period of intense glaciation, that's hard to say 10 times fast, may have been to blame. We think Neanderthal groups in Northern Europe perished, while a Neanderthal group that was already in southwestern France survived this climate change and then went on to expand across a broader region, said senior study author and paleontologist Cosimo Post. That's a hard last name to say. Posth. Post.
Oh, yeah. Post.
Yeah. He told that to Live Science. Neanderthals had experienced multiple glaciations before, but this last one proved harsh on their survival. Even though the species survived, all was not well with the remaining population. Since they appeared to emerge from the single group, their genetic diversity overall was reduced drastically compared to what came before, said Post. Say it carefully. While this lack of genetic diversity was not thought to have been solely responsible for their extinction, the researchers believe that it would have likely been a contributing factor. We don't think there was a single reason the Neanderthals went extinct, but this lack of genetic diversity would have made them more predisposed to not really survive climatic changes and other disruptions, said Post. That's like the frozen planet of Hoth in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm making that part up. Anyway, it's time for our palate cleanser before we leave you today. Our palate cleanser is a two-parter. It's about survival and survivalists.
Okay.
You ready for this, Mallie? The first part is survival. It has to do with a woman who was rescued from a Florida canal after trying to rescue a dog.
Oh.
Yeah. A woman who jumped into the water to rescue her dog in Florida ended up needing to be rescued herself alongside the canine. Whoops. That'll happen. This happened yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
I think it was yesterday.
Very recent. Okay.
Body camera footage released by the Hallandale Beach Police Department shows police and Broward fire rescue personnel lowering a ladder from the intracoastal waterway seawall to rescue the woman and her dog. The Thursday rescue, it was last week. Thursday rescue was also caught on camera by a witness on the other side of the canal. I guess she jumped in because the dog was trying to come out. Witness Dmitry Shapsa-Shrinkov told WPLG TV it was low tide, so at that point for her to even get to somewhere was almost impossible. I didn't even see a ladder or anything to come up, so she was stuck. The woman, identified only as Diana, confirmed she had been attempting to rescue her dog Cookie. I didn't see how she slipped. He probably maybe his legs just went away and he fell, but he fell behind me, she told WSVN TV. I was just panicking. I didn't know what to do. Just jump over there, and I didn't have my phone. Diana confirmed she and Cookie were both uninjured. She said she would be more careful when walking the dog in the future, as he's known to be both large and clumsy. So he took a jump into the canal, and she had to go in after him. But she ended up getting both of them out of immediate danger. So both are safe now. And our second story has to do with what's now been determined by the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's oldest dove in Missouri.
Oh, okay.
How old do you think the world's oldest dove is?
Oh, goodness. I don't know how, okay. Birds usually live pretty long. I'll say 122.
Jeez.
I don't know. Well, they always say like parrots and stuff live forever. Well, not live forever, but live like a really long time. So you can't get them late in life.
Yeah, but this is a dove, Mallie. I mean, it's not, they live outside.
Okay, let's go with how about 56?
Oh,
is it still lower?
Yeah, it's lower.
Jeez Louise. I definitely thought it would be like triple the dog years. Okay.
I mean, it's a dove. They could fly into an electrical line.
All right, let's go with 26.
44 in 72 days.
Man, I am so far off. Either way I go.
A Missouri man's pet has been officially named the oldest living dove in captivity at the age of 44 years and 72 days. Maybe it's not as impressive. I thought it was impressive until you're like 120 years. And I'm like,
well, because I was thinking of with those, parakeets and stuff they say don't get them late in life because they live for a really long time.
Well, that's like parrots. Those are parrots that live 120
bird.
years.
So
that's a different kind of bird. I mean, these are doves.
I was just thinking of bird.
There's a pair of doves it used to be a pair of doves that lived out of Paisley Park, but now there's only the one. Yeah, the one died, because it was heartsick. That princess was gone. Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. Well, now that I brought the room down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. I should look up the story. But Guinness World Records said that Sugar, a dove belonging to Chesterfield resident 77-year-old Dwayne Arender, surpassed the previous record, which was held by a German dove named Methuselah by over 15 years. Doves in captivity, by the way, Mallie, typically have a life expectancy of about 20 years.
Oh, God, I was way off.
Yeah, so you're like 120 years. It's only 20. Yeah.
One of these days, I'm going to get this answer right.
Yeah.
When you ask me a question, I'm going to get it right.
No, it's
I
fine.
never get them right.
I like the fact that you shot high on this deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shot high.
You're giving these doves something to shoot for. You know, these doves they're underachievers. They're like, I got 20 years, I'll make the best of it. You're like 120, let's go.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
You're
not
like
the world record.
right, you're like coaching them. You're like, come on, dove, let's quit being so lazy. Let's go get it.
You can do it.
You're like the Tom Brady of dove trainers. You're like LFG dove, let's go.
Yeah.
Arender said Sugar's favorite activity is to sit on the couch with him and watch TV, earning him the nickname of Lapdog.
No.
He's a lazy effing dove is what he is. He said Sugar will tap his foot when there's music playing. Oh, he's tapping his foot.
That's cute.
He's like, yeah, woo, woo. I've been in the music business for over 50 years, he went on to say, and he's very much in love with the music. He's even pictured on 2 of my music videos. Oh, he's got music videos. You'll see Sugar's picture on his 40th birthday and again on the song God Spotlight, which I tell him he's part writer because he inspired the song. Oh,
No.
that little Sugar. Isn't that cute?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sugar's 44 years old. Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that something? Let me look this up real quick and see Prince's doves at Paisley Park. Because he had 2 of them at one time. And when we took the tour of Paisley Park when it first opened, when you walked into the entryway, Divinity and Majesty were their names. They were kept at the complex. They were featured on his album One Night Alone. And following Prince's passing in 2016, original male dove Majesty died in 2017. Female dove Divinity passed away in 2021 at 28 years old. That's a long time for a dove.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Prince kept 2 doves at Paisley Park. So there you go. Little bit of trivia for you, Mallie, to end our show today. So, yeah. But Divinity and Majesty were Prince's doves that he kept there. So
Okay.
there were real doves behind When Doves Cry.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of
Those
people.
names sound like the ones that you give like to the backup dancers.
Maybe he did have backup dancers named Divinity and Majesty. It's kind of pretty names for doves, don't you think?
Yeah.
Divinity and Majesty. I mean, that's what I name my servants here at the house. Divinity and Majesty. So I say, Your Majesty, will you fetch me another Coke? And they say, F you, go get it yourself. And I'm like, all right, fine. I don't know what I'm paying you for. And they're like, you're not paying me. And I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll go get it myself.
Paying them in compliments.
Yeah, compliments. And smiles.
There we go.
Yeah. That's about it. Well, what you got going on in your world, Mel?
Oh boy. Nothing really. Just busy renovating the house. But other than that,
That's busy enough.
yeah. Oh Lordy.
Right.
I think I have permanent paint on my hands, but yeah, just kind of working on the house right now before the summer comes so that I can enjoy my season outside. So yeah. Nothing else though, really. Just getting slowly out of hibernation.
Oh, well, that's more than enough too.
Yeah.
Boy, is spring ever going to come?
I know. It keeps teasing us. One day it's freaking 55 and then the next day it's 30 and I got snow flurries coming.
It's 42 degrees right now outside.
Yeah.
And it's April 7th. I mean, as we're taping this, it's April 7th. It's 42 freaking degrees outside.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's ever going to warm up. I don't feel like I'm ever going to get warm. I feel like I'm freezing all the time. I mean, I hate to be the old man who's complaining about everything, but but it doesn't feel like it's ever going to warm up.
Yeah. Hey, did you know? Okay, so if today's the 7th, it's National Beavers Day.
Oh,
That popped up on my Google because I'm like, why do I have this furry critter on my thing? And it said it's National Beavers Day. I was like, oh, that's appropriate
well,
for our recording.
yeah. Well,
After that one episode we had.
I'll celebrate appropriately and go snag me some pelt.
There you go.
Does that sound right? I mean,
Nope. That sounds like it could be totally bad.
it does.
But yeah.
It? have to go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, go snag yourself some pelt tonight. National Beaver Day.
What do you have going on?
Yeah, snag me some pelt for National Beaver Day. That's what I got going on. I had no idea how to answer that other than that. Well, we got us a show tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's, how we end the week. We got that going on. And, other than that, got the KNSI thing a week from Saturday. That's always fun.
Yeah. That will be fun.
Yeah. I do have fun up there. Saying hi to the kids. I say hi to the kids on Saturday morning on social media. I have fun with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always appreciate when people say hi to me on social media on Saturday mornings. Yeah. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just, keep your eyes out on social media on Saturday mornings from 6 to 9 in the morning, Central Time. I get on social media and I say hi to you and encourage you to listen to me on KNSI Radio. It's not required.
Right.
That you listen to me on KNSI Radio, but if you want to say hi to me, please do. I'd like it if you come say hi to me. It's not required that you do that either, but if you do that, that's always fun. But yeah, that's always fun. Tomorrow's show, we're getting back to basics tomorrow, Mallie. That's what we do on this program. We're talking ghosts and investigations tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, with our guests. I'm trying to remember how you pronounce her name. Is it Lytriana Brown and Blaine Rohan, I believe.
Okay.
And both of them have been on TV. Both of them have books out. But we are going to sit down and talk about their different investigations. Got a bunch of stuff going on tomorrow. So,
are they from Minnesota?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I didn't know if they were local or not.
Nope.
Gotcha.
Nope. So we are sitting down talking to them tomorrow.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I always like hearing everybody else's stories.
Yeah. So we got that going on tomorrow.
Very cool.
And that's how we're going to end the week. And we got some good stuff coming up for April and March. April and March. Good God. April and May.
Time.
Yes, we're going to time travel. That's what we're doing for May. We're time traveling back to March. Good God. But we got good stuff coming up for April and May. Yeah. So we got good stuff coming up.
Very nice.
Lots of good stuff coming up. Lots of stuff in the hopper here for the program. By the way, if there's a guest you'd like to hear on the program, you just submit it to me, tim@darknessradio.com. Make sure to include a way to contact that guest as well, if you'd like to hear them on the big program. Also, please go support the show. Go to darknessradioshow.com. Go to the shop and select either your new True Crime Tuesday swag or Darkness Radio Show swag. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got rocks glasses, we got desk mats, we got bucket hats, and there's even some anniversary merchandise in there as well, 20th anniversary merchandise as well. Go support the show, please. Also, the Darkness Radio Apple app is the update is available, and it's up and moving now. If you, for one reason or another, offloaded the Apple app, reload it. It's updated and ready to go with the new iOS 26. So please, update that app. That'll do it for today. Be sure to join us tomorrow as we're talking ghosties right here. For Mallie Fox, I'm Tim Dennis. We'll see you tomorrow, right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio.